Hey,
All right, we are live. So that's it. We live now.
yeah, we live it, dog.
All right. So this is the first ever inaugural edition of
Yes.
Conscious Approach live streams.
All right.
My man Dogon SS hit me up, said, "Man, we need to start, going live, increase the frequency of the broadcast, put more content out there." So we doing it. We going live. And oddly enough, Dogon was the first person I ever made a video with, so it's kind of a full circle situation. But yeah, we are live, first ever episode. But the commentary is going to be what anybody who follows the channel has been used to thus far. We hit a lot of stuff. Today we going to touch on a couple of the topics that have been kind of in the mainstream news as of late. And the CA style, right? The approach is to take some of these various hot topics, extrapolate them to sort of get a general sense of what the societal implications may be. Not necessarily anything too deep, but just to talk about people and what's going on so that, we can all just understand better and do better. So that's pretty much been the MO with what we do here. So we'll just continue to move on with that train. First off, for anybody who may require introductions, I am JV Wins. I've been the face on these Conscious Approach episodes ever since we started doing videos back in 2017. The fall of 2017 is when I made the first video. And the gentleman that you see on the stream, Dogon SS, was the first guy I made a video with. Dogon, if you want to holler at the people real quick.
Yeah, I mean, well said. The name's Dogon, SS. Right. But yeah, me and JV Wins go back, way back. And we've always had quite a bit to say. We've always had commentary of what's going on. And we just felt it was just about time to give the people, our insight on how we feel about these things to help us grow as a people, as a culture, as a society, man. And so, man, I'm just here to facilitate, be around, give my inputs. But the conscious approach has been something we've been living, our whole lives, man. And that's why me and him became such good friends, because the commonality of how we view and approach the world. Right. And so it's just about time that we just give back to what's been successful for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. And don't get, when we talk about conscious, we're not saying that we're walking around not being of the world. It's just, having a greater understanding of what's going on. But trust me, we still have our vices, and we still, we on the surface in some respects, depending on what the conversation is. So it's not engaging in righteous indignation of being holier than thou, but just, having a higher level of thought, right? A greater level of thought when it comes to some of the stuff that's going on, because it can only help you in the process. So we're going to get right into it, man. We ain't going to cut too many corners. So for the first episode, we figured we'd touch on 4 different, hot topics, things that are trending right now going on, things that are on the top of, a lot of people's minds who pay attention to these various areas of interest. A lot of things going, this is comprising a lot of people's top of mind conversations, whether it's on social media or YouTube or anything like that. So we each contributed 2 topics, so we just gonna speak on that. We're gonna first start off with the news that broke. I'm not exactly sure when it broke. I personally caught wind of it yesterday. So Rachel Nichols, which I didn't know that this was going to happen. Anybody who follows sports programming, ESPN specifically, Rachel Nichols has been a staple on ESPN with regards to NBA coverage for years. I first learned about her on ESPN. She was there for a long time. She spent a small amount of time at Turner Sports before returning to ESPN. She did sideline coverage for NBA games. She did sideline coverage during the NBA Finals and the NBA playoffs. And she also hosted an NBA show on ESPN called The Jump. The Jump is like the signature flagship ESPN show. And she recently found herself in controversy because she was overheard. I don't even know how audio of this stuff gets leaked like this, but she was expressing her displeasure over the fact that Maria Taylor had been given the job of anchor of NBA Countdown during the NBA Finals. She felt that that job should have went to her, and she was, I don't know what this is, bro. I don't know if it's some kind of government FBI wiretap type deal, but how this audio gets leaked is something that I still don't understand to this day. But somehow, some way, the audio was leaked that of Rachel Nichols sort of going in saying that Maria Taylor, basically what she was saying was Maria Taylor was given the job of anchor on NBA Fast Break because ESPN is trying to retroactively correct their past history with being real shitty on diversity. So, I guess I did not think that it was controversial because Rachel Nichols was not being racist or racial in any way. She was just stating a matter of fact for the record. But whenever you do anything, or whenever you express any views that can even be loosely interpreted these days as going against the notion of Black Lives Matter, it's not going to end well for you. And it doesn't matter how many times you apologize for it. It doesn't matter how contrite you are. You're going to get raked through the coals. And she was raked through the coals. Maria Taylor herself, which, I personally found this to be unbecoming of her, but she took advantage of the situation to try and increase her leverage with ESPN because at the time she was trying to get a better contract. So she used the situation to her advantage to gain a greater amount of leverage to try and get the contract that she wanted. Side note, in her warped mind, she somehow believes that she feels like she is deserving of Stephen A. Smith money. Now, I'm not trying to cast aspersions on Maria Taylor. She's achieved a lot in her career, but she doesn't deserve Stephen A. Smith money. And I don't care how much she is able to play upon the idea that she is being victimized by people like Rachel Nichols. At the end of the day, career trajectory, she doesn't deserve Stephen A. Smith money. But she was trying to leverage that situation to her advantage to try and get Stephen A. Smith money, essentially playing hardball, saying to ESPN, if you don't pay me this, I'm out. ESPN, of course, didn't oblige. Maria Taylor now works for NBC. She's no longer with ESPN. But because of Rachel Nichols getting exposed in this manner, she is now jettisoned from ESPN. ESPN cut ties with Rachel Nichols. She will no longer be the host of The Jump. She will no longer be an ESPN employee. ESPN pulled Rachel Nichols from all programming in August, replacing The Jump with temporary hosts such as Richard Jefferson and the aforementioned Malika Andrews. And beginning in October, The Jump will cease to exist. It will be replaced by a different type of NBA show with Malika Andrews as the host. And the rest of this cadre of ESPN NBA analysts will be there to join her, but Rachel Nichols is out. And I wanted to speak on this because I think that this is yet another way that, at this point, I'm getting tired with this expression, but I'll use it in this case because it is apropos. But this is one of the ways in which cancel culture represents a toxic aspect of Westernized societies, specifically American culture. A while back, me and my buddy Dave De Niro G made two different videos. One video was discussing Nick Cannon and the controversy that he was going through because he expressed some views that people perceived to be anti-Semitic. They tried to cancel him for that. Gina Carano, former MMA fighter, she went on to become an actress. She was in big movies. She's most prominently at this point known as the lead character on the Disney Plus Star Wars show, The Mandalorian. She went on to her social media to talk about how being conservative in modern American society is tantamount to being a persecuted Jewish person during the Holocaust. Now, people didn't assess the merit of the message that she was trying to get across. They were just attacking the fact that she was invoking the use of the Holocaust analogy. People got mad about that. They decided that they wanted to cancel her. My point with those two videos was, number one, nowadays we do a very horrible job taking into account the person's previous body of work and their previous actions and character. So, an individual cannot at any point in their past display any tendencies with respect to racism or prejudice, but because they express one disagreeable point of view, you want to get up in arms and demand that they be canceled for something. Be canceled from something. Mind you, what you're demanding that they be canceled from is something that they worked to earn. It wasn't something that was given to them. I intrinsically have a problem with that. Secondly, we don't do a good enough job at assessing the merit of the message. So Rachel Nichols, to me, she crossed off both of those hash marks. Number one, her previous body of work, if you take that into account, she has no prior history of racism or racist attitudes, beliefs, or actions in any way. And number two, she worked to earn that spot. So the point of her message was, I don't want to be sort of victimized by ESPN's previous history of poor diversity. I don't care that I'm white and Maria Taylor is black. I worked to earn that spot. I deserve it. I don't care that I'm white. I deserve that because I worked to earn it. People didn't necessarily address that point of the message. They just looked at it as Maria Taylor as being anti-black. I mean, not Maria Taylor. They looked at it as Rachel Nichols being anti-black. And, ESPN in their infinite hyper-liberalism and, sort of kowtowing to the left-wing collective in this country that has really become dogmatic in its view and sort of said, if you don't think our way, then there is no other way to think, therefore you need to get out of here. ESPN is firmly entrenched on that side of the aisle. If you are conservative leaning in any kind of way, you end up gone. And it doesn't matter. It's just the tenor of the culture right now suggests that to be liberal is to be on the side of right, and to be non-liberal is to automatically by default be on the side of wrong, which is intrinsically unfair because they're just opposing points of view. We should all have room to live. There's a difference between a disagreeable point of view and saying something that's truly reprehensible. And, with Rachel Nichols and what she said, and as in the case with people like Gina Carano and Nick Cannon, they said things that were disagreeable, but in my opinion, they didn't necessarily say things that were reprehensible. But what we have as a result is Rachel Nichols is now gone from ESPN, and I don't think that anything that she said was wrong. So I think that it's unfair, and it's just kind of another example of the way that these things can play out in toxic fashion. And it's unfortunate for people like Malika Andrews, because this is no slight or commentary against her, but she is now being able to take advantage of an injustice that was done on behalf of Rachel Nichols, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people who wave the fist and are constantly like, if you say anything that can even be interpreted as anti-Black Lives Matter, you deserve to go. People aren't going to want to hear that. But the fact of the matter is that one of the primary tenets of racial equality is supposed to be fairness, meaning that you yourself should also exhibit fairness towards other people, not just everyone being able to accord fairness to you because of past injustices. So I'm not a fan of what happened with Rachel Nichols. Again, she has no previous history of exhibiting racist attitudes or behaviors or being racially biased in any way. Her previous character speaks for itself, in my opinion. And on top of that, what she was saying was not factually incorrect. ESPN did have a bad history when it comes to diversity. Rachel Nichols shouldn't have to pay the price for that if she worked to earn her spot. That was pretty much how I felt about that. So it's unfortunate. Congrats to Malika Andrews for the opportunity, but what happened to Rachel Nichols was wrong.
And I agree. And the reason why I agree, because Rachel Nichols, is how can I say, she loves the brothers.
Yeah.
She loves the brothers, bro. And so, and that's why, while researching Rachel Nichols, yeah, I was researching Rachel Nichols, guys. And upon my research, first thing I type in is when Rachel Nichols is the next result is Rachel Nichols, Jimmy Butler.
Right.
And it's just like, hey man, I forgot Jimmy Butler was just sliding on that.
You up?
He was just sliding on Rachel Nichols. It's wild. But I get it. I see how she be when she's interviewing people, touching their legs and being extra flirtatious. You know what I'm saying? Like when Jordan used to, come off the, plane out the hotel or whatever, it was skeezers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is she's no different. She just got a microphone that has ESPN on it. And so she just gets front row seats to all of these ball players.
Right.
So I already knew that Rachel was just, she's cool.
Yeah.
My takeaway from this is because you gotta see both sides of this. So my take is for Rachel Nichols to be a woman in modern television broadcasting. All right, she has to be aware that she was also given favor just because she was a woman in general.
Correct.
And she may have gotten a job over a more qualified reporter, all because she was just a woman. And so what she has to realize is this privilege thing, or this whole advantage thing that she's complaining about, she was also a benefactor of it. So she's only upset when it doesn't apply to her, in my opinion. Do I think she should have gotten fired for that? No. I feel like she's entitled to her opinion, especially if it's off record, man. Let the people live. But honestly, I didn't see anything wrong with her saying that. It's like, because nobody likes that. I mean, even if you dish it out, right? If you're a team that always wins by the three and then you lose a game because the team was shooting threes better than you that day, you're not going to like the fact that you lost. But at the end of the day, it's still a situation where it's like, hey, man, you live by it, you die by it.
Right.
So, yeah, her frustration at that moment was genuine, and she was allowed to voice her opinion. I really don't think she should have gotten fired for that. So I feel like that was extra. But that was just ESPN, being modern day, holier than thou network.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, bro, come on, man. Let's have some. No, we're keeping it as commercial can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, go ahead. You have something?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like they didn't even, we don't care about an apology. In today's racial climate, we can't have this kind of bigotry. Bigotry? About what? What happened? What did I miss? Right? Everybody's a supervillain. What's going on?
It's just it's amazing because I said it when I spoke, but what I can't get over is how someone with no previous history of any such behavior can go from being a beloved ESPN figure to essentially a public enemy number one. I agree. I agree with what you said. I also think that when she or anyone in her position is expressing views like that, they're not thinking about the fact that they have probably been the beneficiary of inadequacies throughout their career before in the past. Mm-hmm. They're just saying, hey, man, I earned this spot through hard work. And furthermore, it's kind of the notion of benefiting from things from the notion of benefiting from inequalities can get a little dicey when you do factor in, when you do sort of take into account the fact that the individual did actually work to earn that. So it becomes a matter of trying to sort of determine, where do you draw the line between that individual's hard work and the fact that they rightfully earned that spot and the fact that they are the beneficiary of inequality? Like, where do you draw the line there? It gets murky. You know, this Rachel Nichols wasn't some trust fund kid who got thrusted into, you know, an advantageous spot at ESPN because she had a dad or an uncle or knew some executive who worked there, and so she got in there. Like, she worked to earn that. She was in the trenches as a journalist for years.
But I think she married somebody that's pretty important, and that guy runs things. So she did have an, and for far as I've, that's what I hear hearsay. I didn't research that.
Okay.
That's what I've heard. Right. And I can tell back when she first got started on ESPN and she never blinked. I thought the woman was a robot. I said, will you blink, Rachel? She just at the Giants game covering Barry Bonds and she ain't blinked. She ain't blinked now one time. I said, that's amazing. I said, I'm going to sit here and watch her. I used to sit there and watch every segment because I couldn't stand her robotic voice. I said, how did she get it? At least it was me. How did she get here? Eventually, she became more relaxed and normal. And so, like, recently, I was like, wow, she's really grown as a journalist, honestly. Because when she first got on the scene, I don't know what the hell that was. But now, you know, I don't take anything away from her hard work now. The hard work she's been doing since she's been in the game. I'm not taking any of that stuff away from her. But the whole thing is that there's also situations where we're talking about the same corporation or the same business as ESPN who are seeking to be on the cutting edge. They need to be more progressive, you know. And so with that progressive viewpoint, they've had that progressive viewpoint for a while now, you know. I mean, honestly, I see there's a lot of black people. There's nothing but black people on ESPN. It's just black people.
But that's the thing. ESPN, I've said it many times in the past, ESPN has sort of, in my opinion, ESPN has become what I call hyper liberal. The commentary inherent in ESPN's on-air talent is inherently hyper liberal. I call it hyper liberalism. And the reason why I say that isn't because being liberal is bad, is because I think that it's irresponsible to only maintain one particular point of view when you're supposed to be an impartial provider of programming. So my thing is, if you're going to get into the social commentary game and you're going to allow on-air talent to express liberal points of view, you need to also understand that everyone doesn't think that way. So I believe that it is incumbent upon you to also allow conservative points of view if you're going to be in that social commentary game. I'm not trying to say that one is right over the other. I'm just trying to say you have to give all of it a space. You can't give one a space over the other. And ESPN in the past has shown, in my opinion, that if it ain't liberal, it ain't right. That's why guys like Kurt Schilling get fired. That's why guys like Will Cain quit. You know, because not only are you a person who is not super duper hyper liberal, but now you're in an environment in which if you say, hey man, I think everybody should stand for the flag, now you're getting castrated. And it's like, listen, whether you agree or disagree with that point of view, the reality is not everybody is of a singular notion. But ESPN has sort of decided we are going to be of a singular notion. I don't know how comfortable I am with that. And I think that it is ESPN's decision to become of a singular notion in that regard that leads to people like Rachel Nichols getting let go. People like Rachel Nichols, mind you, who I would also consider to be hyper liberal. That's the irony of this whole thing. Rachel Nichols is pro-black, pro-NBA, as you said a couple minutes ago, pro-brother. And even she can't express something that might be disagreeable without having her job, without having what she worked to earn taken away from her on ESPN. That to me is a dangerous game that they're playing. And they might be doing well now, but you can look up the numbers as public record. They've lost ratings over the years. Fox has taken all their talent away. Now, Fox is basically copying all of ESPN in terms of their shows.
Absolutely.
But the talent is leaving ESPN and going to Fox. Everybody on Fox right now is ex-ESPN. At some point, they were all on ESPN. They left to go to Fox. It must be because the culture is more inviting of different points of view. That's the only reason why I can glean why that is. And it looks like those people over at Fox are given a little more leeway to be themselves, whereas ESPN is far more buttoned up. You can't say this, you can't say that, or you end up suspended. They suspended Stephen A. Smith a couple times for saying things that are merely disagreeable. So my point is, like, we have to toe the line. We have to do a better job of towing the line between disagreeable points of view and points of view that are truly reprehensible. There's nothing about what Rachel Nichols said that was reprehensible. I'm not disagreeing with the point that you're making about her being the beneficiary of inequality in her own right, but that ain't what had her. That's not what has her gone. What has her gone is what she said. And let's pierce the veil behind what she said. What she said, number one, was not false, right? So you have the one piece of it, which is what she said isn't incorrect. And then the other piece of it is it truly that beyond the pale? And, you know, I really think that ESPN is only doing what it is doing in response to its perceived audience. And it thinks that it has to do things, it has to make choices like fire Rachel Nichols, because if they don't, there's the potential of them getting all of that crazy social media backlash and sort of allowing themselves to be engulfed in a maelstrom of negative criticism, because the Twitter sphere and the Instagram world is hyper liberal as well. And so they have to kind of be able to kowtow and placate to the audience. And if the audience is dictating that Rachel Nichols has to go, unfair as it may be, ESPN is going to make that move. I just think that it's BS.
I guess the audience is. What's going on? I just can't take it. Yeah, and you're right. It's too politicized. Just let me watch people dribble a ball.
That's no longer good enough. It's no longer good enough. I don't know what Colin Kaepernick did that. Let's be real. Colin Kaepernick did that. Now, I don't think that he was doing it on purpose, but this has definitely been, you can definitely look to 2017 and what he did as the turning point.
True.
With sports media getting involved in whatever you want to call it.
At this degree, yeah. I mean, they would still do it. They would still have those conversations with Stephen A. Smith and whoever. And I'm like, why are y'all talking about this?
Yeah.
Why are y'all talking about this? Hey, man, these guys just finished dribbling a ball for 3 hours. Cover that. What the hell are you talking about this other stuff for? Yeah. I'll watch other networks for that.
Right.
Don't tell me how to feel about politics over here. Right. I don't have time for that. Right. But yeah, that's what they've honestly. That's what, you know. But the Kaepernick stuff really. That's when it went to another level there.
It put it in high gear. It did.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, man. That's I agree. I agree with that, man. But it just goes again, man. People aren't allowed to have opinions anymore.
Well, they are, just as long as it's left leaning.
Right.
No, seriously, like that's the problem. And you know, we gonna move on to the next topic. We ain't gonna spend all night on this, but like I'm an individual that, well, you know, I consider myself to be an independent. So I take facts and information that is available to me, and I use that to formulate my opinion. Right. I'm not going to entrench myself in any particular form of ideology just to sort of stay on that side of the aisle if the data, facts, and evidence suggests otherwise. So I'm an independent thinker. However, I do consider myself in many ways to be socially liberal. But even me, who considers himself to be socially liberal, looks at some of this stuff and says, this is just too much. Like, I should be able to express disagreeable conservative points of view without being raked through the coals publicly. Because, and just to sort of address what you were saying, the reason why it's okay is because in my opinion, in the mainstream media and on social media, in my opinion, is an extension of the mainstream media. It's just different in that it gives regular, ordinary people a platform to, you know, expound upon their beliefs when the everyday Joe can't get on CNN or ESPN and talk, right? But social media, in many respects, is an extension of the mainstream media. And the mainstream media has become hyper-liberal. And the reason why it's been allowed to persist is because there is the perception that liberal is right. So if you're on the side of righteousness, you can do and say whatever you want because you're on the side of righteousness. You're right. So I can say whatever I want because I'm right. I'm on the side of righteousness. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
But when you're not on the side of righteousness, then it becomes a matter of, oh, that's not okay what you just said there. You mean to tell me that you believe in marriage only being between a man and a woman? How dare you say that? That's bigotry. Get them out of here. And it's like, hey, man, like, look, even if you don't agree with that, look, we can all live here. Like, if it's okay for you to say one thing, it's okay for me to speak to the contrary because they're just disagreeable points of view. Mm-hmm. You know, at the end of the day, man, you know, what happened to Rachel Nichols was messed up. If I had to guess, she'll probably be on Fox.
Not, though.
I think ESPN will probably, I think Rachel Nichols come the fall will probably be covering the NBA on Fox. She'll be fine, but I just think it's representative of the inherent inadequacy of the current social discourse of America and westernized cultures. I am not comfortable with the fact that if it's all liberal, it's all good, and if it's not all liberal, you might get fired. That to me is crazy.
Yeah, agreed, bro.
Yeah. But all right, that's enough of that one, man. Rachel Nichols, good luck to you. We'll go ahead and move on. Next, we something else going on in the, you know, we got Sha'carri Richardson has been sort of trending on social media with Red. It has to do with something what happened with Usain Bolt. That was, you know, there's interesting conversation that can be had from that if you wanted to go ahead and tee us off on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much detail. All I know is that she's in the headlines again.
Yeah.
For talking again, or not even talking, just displaying. And I guess she's not allowed to be herself either because she's on full display every time. So she's not allowed to be emotional. And so online, she basically all of the stuff that's been going on with her been talking so much and losing, right? Not looking like the one that was damn near breaking world records.
Right.
She's just looking some kind of way right now. Right. And I get it. Like the ego is a powerful thing. And so she's frustrated right now. And the world's watching her go through this frustrating moment. All right. So then she tests positive for this stuff. We don't know what's going on right now. It's some wild business.
Right.
We run slow. Now she's out here yelling at people and interview. Well, they're interviewing her after then. She's yelling and cussing. It's outside for madness. So now we get to this build up to where, you know, I guess Usain Bolt was being interviewed by some people, and they asked about how they feel about her, and he just said, "Hey, look, basically, like, hey, she needs to run her mouth less and train more. Just let her talent and her athleticism do all the talking."
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody posted this. You can go ahead and share a screen. Okay. For this one here. Yeah, so somebody posted an Instagram. I guess somebody underneath one of her comments, you know, left this comment here. And so, you know, Sha'carri, she liked it. I don't blame her for liking it. But then she had to double down, right? Take a screenshot of it and then just post it again. Just post it, just in case you guys didn't see this. Okay, and it says everybody want to give advice in the media, but none of them actually take the time to speak to her outside the media. So I feel her. Stop speaking on me when you don't even speak to me. Now, granted, I get it, bro. When you up there, I guess you got to move like you got a sneak disc. You really can't be saying names. You know what I'm saying? You really got to be a person that, you know, talks in code. You know, like a Drake bar.
Yeah.
A Drake bar. And so this. Listen, man.
Champagne poppy.
Huh?
Champagne Poppy.
Champagne Poppy, man. That boy, wow. So this, and we got to see what this young lady's a product of. So let's just stop the presses here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not upset with her. She's just really a product of whatever she's been growing up in, man. She's like 21. And so she's grown up in all of that, bro. What do you call those things? What that thing was? Um, Vine. She grew up on
Oh yeah,
Vine,
yeah,
and she grew up on all of this stuff. So she's one of those babies. So she grew up, man, just seeing nothing but the stuff we've been ever since we done checked out of pop culture like that. You know what I'm saying?
right.
That stuff was like for real to her. And so now she's in her prime. You know what I'm saying? She's young. She's out here. Everybody knows her. So she feels herself a lot. And what she's doing right now is a reflection of basically what society has turned these people into. Like, you gotta flex at all times. Everything's a flex. So she's taking this as a situation. Instead of being humble, it had to be a flex.
Yeah,
Life has been social media for all of these people. And so when she's talking to older people like Usain Bolt, the young lady Felix, I forgot her name, her first name, Felix, and she's just getting into it with old heads. Old heads is like, hey man, this is how you respect the game. Not out here with all this jibber jabber, because guess what? In any track, in any meet, you can lose. So why are you out here with all this extra jibber jabber? And she's just out here with the jibber jabber, but why not? She's treating it like she's a rapper. And she's out here, I'm a superstar. Are you kidding me? I beat all these women all the time. So now when Usain Bolt says, hey man, tighten up, quiet down a little bit. Work on your game a little bit harder. Right. And so she's just in the space now of like, hey, you know, these old people hating. That's how she sees it.
yeah,
That she's just going to stunt harder next time. You think she's going to be quiet after this? No way.
yeah.
Yeah, this is how it is. She's treating it like, come on. So I'm not saying she's a product of 6ix9ine culture, but what I'm getting at is she's going viral is a thing. So yeah, more of these things will come. This is her personality, hate it or love it. And that look at the smile there. Come on, look
Oh
at
yeah,
that.
she don't give a damn.
There you go.
Yeah,
Look at that smug smile. She's
yeah,
like, hey, I got more for y'all. Y'all think this sweet? Come
yeah,
on. She grew up watching reality TV where being petty was the move.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you think you got me? I can beat that.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So I ain't really faulting her like that. It is what it is. She's a product of her environment. She's a product of her social media environment too. We got to equate that in too. I don't even think people even mention that. If you're a product of your own personal neighborhood, what are you a product of when you're online? You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
You're a product of whatever neighborhood you hang out in online. And so if you're in a I can be petty too community, oh, you think you got me? Oh yeah, girl. That community, I got receipts community. All right, she got all day for this. That's what that smile says. I got all day for this.
Yeah, she ain't got she ain't got nothing but space and opportunity.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So it is what it is. At least that's my take on the situation. It's been blowing up quite a bit, and the people that are up in arms about it. I mean, it's a lot of people are young and old, but generally the older heads, man, we're just not understanding how these young people are moving. You know what I'm saying? We're just not understanding.
yeah. I agree with you. I kind of look at this from two different angles, right? So the first angle is the notion of a generational observation. So this is completely a way to sort of glean generationalism in America. Like, this is normal behavior.
Yes.
Now, we don't have a concept of it because we are of a previous generation.
Right.
But she grew up. When she was born, the internet was already a thing.
Exactly.
Right? So like she she has been born and she has grown up in a society in which it is very much normal, acceptable social behavior to take to the internet to behave, essentially, to air out grievances, to express points of view, to get at people. Like, whereas we were sort of taught to kind of address that person face to face, that has been replaced. It's been supplanted by, just Adam on Instagram. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's a generational observation that we're making here. Once again, from that standpoint, I can't necessarily fault her for getting involved in that regard because you are a product of your time.
Right.
10, 20 years from now, whatever the technology is, people who grow up within that ecosystem, they're going to be acclimated to whatever that is. And people who grew up with Instagram and YouTube are going to be like, bro, that shit is weird.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how things work. Like, like the fact that this is, typical behavior is, in my opinion, merely a generational observation. So that's the first way that I kind of look at it. The second and most important, angle that I kind of tackle it from, for me, is I think people in her position, and it's funny that you brought up rappers. It's funny that you brought up rappers because I kind of feel as though rappers and athletes are synonymous in this manner. One of the issues, like, I love music, like you and I both, we love music, right? One of the issues that I have with music culture today is that people are afraid to be critical. Like, I don't like that. So a rapper puts out a trash album, everybody says it's great. A rapper puts out a classic album, all of the blogs, all of the radio shows, all of the podcasts, everybody calling it a classic. Well, damn, how many classics can there be? So every rapper's putting out a great album, everybody's putting out classic, nobody's putting out trash. Everybody is an apologist. So much so to the point that the artists themselves don't grow up developing a mechanism for accepting constructive criticism. So when they do get any sort of constructive criticism, they take it personally and they want to jump on social media and attack people for hating on them. When it's like, ain't nobody hating on you personally. It's just everybody's allowed to critique your work. You release this to the masses, people are going to critique it. Not everything you do is a work of art. It's not genius.
Right.
But the music industry as a whole is so afraid of alienating these artists because they don't want to burn any potential business relationships, that all they do is just praise them for everything that they do. Nothing that they do it warrants criticism in any kind of way. So it's sort of a symbiotic relationship going on where the artists don't know how to accept criticism because they're not being critiqued, and the industry is too afraid to critique them. And I think that's what's going on with these athletes, and in particular people like Sha'carri Richardson. She's probably grown up her whole life being told that she's the greatest thing ever. And so when you are told that as a child, when your brain is developing, you will grow up believing that. Like, you can't understate that. And any notion to the contrary, you're going to accept as a personal attack, and you're going to do everything that you can to defend yourself. But you're defending yourself unnecessarily because nobody's going at the merit of your character. Right. And furthermore, I'm going to go back to the point that I made with the previous topic, talking about Rachel Nichols. What did Usain Bolt say that was so bad? Like, at the end of the day, let's assess that. What did Usain Bolt say that was so bad? What did he say that was wrong? A, talk less, train more. What is so bad about that? That you have to say everybody want to give advice in the media, but none of them actually take the time to speak to her outside the media. He didn't say anything to her personally. He just said train more, talk less. What did he say that was so reprehensible that it leads to this maelstrom of controversy? Like, why are we doing this? He didn't say she's trash. He didn't say crazy stuff like she's ugly. He didn't say nothing truly out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? He just critiques her. he made a critique within the context of the sport that she plays, or the sport that she performs in, rather. And so, that's, we get too up in arms with this. Like, what did he say that was so bad? And, when you peel that back, all that I can sort of surmise is, younger and I hate being old guy, get off my lawn trying to pick on younger people. But it's just like, overall, as a society, we've sort of lost the ability to like accept constructive criticism and to understand the difference between something that is truly like something we should sort of be affronted by and just an otherwise innocuous comment that we can either take in stride or ignore it. We feel as though we have to get on Instagram and defend our honor. And it's not really that deep. Like, it's not really that serious.
And just to go off what you said, man, like the her being this whole thing where people can't accept the constructive criticism is a thing that I struggled with too as a young person. But like you said, when these people are living their life online,
yes, they are. Absolutely.
There is no personal filter of, I shouldn't post that. Oh man, I wish I could. In a perfect world, they don't do that. That filter's not there. It goes straight from brain straight to world. And that's dangerous. Because then they get themselves in situations like this. I know she felt that. I know she felt that so hard that she wanted to repost it. You don't do it though. That filter's not there.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't fault her. I bet she was listening to some fire-ass music too when she posted this post. I got something for them. Look at that face. Hey, I'm not mad at her, but look at that face. She said, I can be petty. I get it. This generation, hey, I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you. So I get where she's coming from. And yeah, it's just that gap between, hey man, don't let the internet fool you though. Right? And just as much as they love you, they're just as quick, man. You know what I'm saying? So she needs to that these younger people need to realize. I guess my thing is, hey, that internet, man, it could be a wild space. If you just living like that, just dropping all of your emotions, all of your business, it can be wild.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man. So she just needs to watch herself. But honestly, I'm tuned in. If this face indicates anything else, I'm tuned in for the rest of it. Honestly. So we'll see what happens in the future, bro.
If nothing else, we can agree that it's content for sure. It is pure unfiltered content.
At least.
The last thing that I'll say about this, I think people such as her, and people in her position could benefit from thinking about stuff like this in this way. Who is making the comment? Like, there is this, I believe that like, so, I've done research on like socioeconomics and economics and all of this kind of stuff. So like 70% of the population lives meager means. We won't get into the specifics, but on a scale from 0 to 100, 70% of the population is untapped potential, essentially. But that 70% of the population comprises probably 90 to 95% of all social media activity. Because people who are working to achieve at a very high level have less time to be on social media commenting because they're too busy working to build something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the 95% of people who are on social media are the people who have all the time in the world because they ain't grinding to build or establish any kind of legacy. So what I've always said is I don't need to pay any sort of attention to comments, whether critical, negative, or positive, if it's not from someone who can empathize with my situation. And so for like Sha'carri, the reason why I bring that up is because Usain's been there. He did it. Usain Bolt performed at the highest level imaginable with respect to that very same sport. He did it, broke all the records in the world. So if there's anybody whose words, if there's anybody whose comments you shouldn't sort of personally, feel like, oh, I gotta speak on that because that's wrong, would be somebody who can empathize with her situation. And who can empathize with her situation better than somebody like Bolt?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she ain't gonna never see this video, but anybody in her position, that's kind of what I always like to say is, okay, first of all, what was said and who said it. Now, jackass who works at Applebee's, who wants to tell you to, talk less, train more, yeah, ignore that guy. That guy know? He's right. He's getting ready to put on non-slick shoes to go flip burgers at Applebee's.
Exactly.
You don't need to listen to that guy.
Right.
But Bolt, somebody who's been there, who's done it, maybe don't have such a visceral reaction if that's the messenger. So, it is what it is. But I just think that this is just a sign of the times, man. This is a generational thing. I wouldn't do this, but I'm older. That's pretty much all I can say.
Right.
Pretty much, that's how that one goes. But we'll go ahead and move on. And man, I'm gonna just go ahead and put this up here because it speaks for itself.
Okay. Yeah. This one here. My goodness, bro. Okay, so as you go right quick, go full screen for a second. I'll be right back. All right, bro. So go full screen. I'll be right back. Cool. Go ahead, boss. I'm listening.
All right. So next topic we're going to talk about is Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner is making waves throughout social media because of her recent activity. I don't even need to rehash. I don't need to rehash the past. I don't need to rehash the whole story. Brittany Renner, she's I think Brittany Renner is 27, 28 years old, Instagram model, social media famous, rubs elbows with entertainers and athletes, rappers, NBA players, NFL players. She's the typical Instagram model. Nothing necessarily distinct about her in that respect. She's a dime a dozen when it comes to her behavior because she fits the bill. She's an Instagram model. She got with PJ Washington, used to play for the University of Kentucky, drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. He's an NBA player. She was a shark. She was going to this guy's games when he was still in college. Everybody used to wonder, why is Brittany Renner in the stands at a Kentucky game? Oh, then we found out, it's because she tried to get with PJ Washington. Got with him. She got pregnant by him. She had a child. And now the relationship, coincidentally, as soon as she has a child, pretty much is over. And she's staring down the barrel of being, a modern woman in westernized cultures who is a single mother, but still trying to do her thing out here and not miss a beat. She recently posted a video on her social media channels celebrating what she characterizes as stepdaddy season. Essentially talking about how, she's a single mother now. She's a baby mama. She didn't necessarily do it on purpose, but this is what it is. But that should not deter any man from wanting to be with her, and that she is accepting applications because it's stepdaddy season. Release yourself from any stigmas about it being ghetto or beneath you or unbecoming. This is just the world. It's acceptable behavior. There's single mothers everywhere, and I am now one of them. It's no big deal. It's stepdaddy season, so any man who wants to, be with me and step up the plate, come on board. And we don't have we could have posted that video on there to show them. But
I'm looking for it, bro.
Yeah, that's the gist of it. She's talking about stepdaddy season. And, there are several ways to tackle this. I am just going to tackle it from one central point of view. And again, let me iterate that the thoughts and views of JV Wins do not reflect the thoughts and views of anyone other than JV Wins. I'm only speaking for myself. But the primary way that I attack this situation is I have a general belief that if you perceive something to be an issue or a problem, you don't assess the yield of the problem, you assess the root. You assess what I call the progeniting behavior. What is the progenation of this yield? What creates this issue? What starts it? If you can deduce that, then you can sort of fix it if you perceive it to be a problem in society. So if you perceive the inequities inherent in modern dating and relationships and the oversized leverage of women with respect to the sexual marketplace, if you perceive that to be a problem, let's dissect specific situations so that we can get at the root of that problem and try and figure out what are ways that we can curb it, stop it from happening. So I bring that up to say that, in my opinion, the only reason why Brittany Renner can feel beholden enough to talk about stepdaddy season and feel so comfortable and confident in things being able to work in her advantage as she navigates stepdaddy season,
right,
is because she is completely confident that there will be a man with money and resources who is going to want to get with her. And he will want to fill out an application as, in terms of it being stepdaddy season.
Hey, now before you go on, do you want to? I got the clip here. You want to?
Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
All right, so we'll see if the audio is good for this. Let me know if there's any feedback, bro.
Okay.
All right, so let me stop sharing this one. Why can't I share that tab instead? Yeah, I would always do that. So did you really have it fired up, Mario? I do. All right, check it out. So. Brittany Renner, Stepdaddy Hunt. I think that's where we're at. Boom. All right. So let's give this a play, see what she's got to say. Okay, hold on. I muted it. Trouble stream.
It's muted. There
I got the. Hey y'all! It's officially stepdaddy season. Yeah, I got the cards in the back. Let's go to the park. Don't let your baby mama or your baby daddy block your blessings. I know in theory it sounds good keeping the same person to have kids with, but that's insanity as well. So if it doesn't work out with them, it'll work out with someone else. Okay? It just will. That's how that goes. And trust me, I know it's ghetto. It is so ghetto being a baby mama and thinking about multiple baby daddies is scary. But we're gonna be alright.
Look at that boy.
Okay. I know a lot of you are skeptical about talking to people with children, but I can assure you, the baby mamas now, today, we don't give a
because you're one of them.
Right.
I have exited the rat race. I am not threats. I want you to be around for a long time, not a good time. You can hold my son, put him on your story. I trust his judgment. I really do. I really do. I just want I swear. I do. Now, I'm not a threat, but I can't speak for the other hoes that you don't know about. Maybe odds ever be in your favor. But I am here for it. Okay? Like, people move on. Save you should have got the ring first. It wasn't going to work out anyways. It just wasn't going to work out. Let's laugh together and let's raise this baby,
Oh, man. That's wild stuff. Hey, yeah, go ahead, bro.
It's funny. There's another YouTuber who I watch by the name of Jada Black. Shouts out to him.
Mm-hmm.
He did a video talking about this, and he said that she's just laughing the pain away.
That's it. That's what we just witnessed right there, bro.
But the bigger problem with this is, and call me cynical,
Yeah.
but I believe that it's only a matter of time
Uh-huh.
before she is in a new relationship with another NBA or NFL player.
Oh yeah.
And that's the root of it. Essentially, she feels emboldened enough to post something like this because she is fully confident in her ability to be able to bounce back. There will be a new guy with money and resources who's willing to fill out that application for stepdaddy season.
Absolutely.
And that is the real problem. So like, on the one hand, you can, if you want, criticize these women for being the way that they are, but really all they're doing is taking advantage of a weakness that is inherent in today's modern man, in my opinion. And that weakness is men don't seem to be able to see the forest from the trees, like maintain standards and preferences. Just because it's Brittany Renner doesn't mean that you should get with her if she has baggage. You wouldn't do that with another. She should be perceived no different than any other woman in regular society who takes on baggage as a single mother. But she's elevated because of her social status and because of the fact that she's an Instagram model. And she should really be evaluated along the same lines. And that's the progeny. That is the progeny behavior, in my opinion. Is there are too many men today who are more than willing to reward bad decision making and questionable behavior. Why? She said during that clip it wasn't going to work out anyway.
Right.
Why would you have why have a kid with the guy if you knew it wasn't going to work out? Why are you doing this? And mind you, she has made videos in the past talking about how if you want to get rich, just have sex with an NBA player because they don't use condoms and they're not very smart.
Yes.
She made a video, and that you can still access that video to this day. She made a video saying this.
Yep.
She also wrote a book detailing the high-profile men in sports and entertainment that she slept with.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Yeah. The name of the book is called "Judge This Cover." She wrote a book. And Colin Kaepernick is in the book. She talks about him.
Oh, that's right.
Uzi Vert, all of these high-profile men in sports and entertainment that she's been with. She wrote a book exposing her relationship with these guys. But my thing is, if you don't expose yourself to that possibility, she has nothing to write about. So at the end of the day, man, for me, this just boils down to men needing to make better choices. Like we can talk about the dysfunctional nature of women all we want, but women's dysfunctional nature cannot be exacerbated if men aren't rewarding the behavior. That's how I see this. And the next guy, the next NBA or NFL player or actor who gets with her, and mind you, this guy himself probably will not have kids of his own. The next guy that guy who gets with her will in effect be rewarding that questionable behavior and decision making. And that's the root of it. If you want this shit to stop rewarding the bad behavior. That's kind of where I come at this. It's crazy. The fact that she can so brazenly talk about something called stepdaddy season is something that's wild to me. But again, the only reason why she can do it is because there will be takers. If you don't want the market to exist, you have to cut off the supply. So long as there are so many who are willing to supply the market with the product, the market is going to continue to exist.
All right.
So
I agree. And like you said, how she basically just called the athletes dumb. And man, just any clips that you catch of this woman saying anything, it's scary stuff, man. And honestly, spending any time around this woman, I mean, she's exposing that stuff to you. I don't think she has an off switch. I think this is just how she feels.
She doesn't care.
Yeah, dude.
She doesn't care because she'll never be held accountable because no one is going to stop giving her attention or trying to be with her.
And it's wild. And you're right. It's it's thought enabling. You're just enabling the thottery.
For real.
That's all it is. That's what guys do. Man, I was so over. Man, okay, I get it. You got a nice ass. I get it, right? Every picture on your profile, though, once I started scrolling, and like this is back in the day,
yeah,
with some pages I still land on because I was like, all right, you though, everybody else, all right. But nevertheless, it got old to me fast. You want to see ass every day, bruh? Like, what are you doing? You're on Instagram all day looking at ass. What kind of concept is that? What are you doing? You have to have an off switch to that, bro. That can't be all you're doing. And these girls are feeding the streets.
Yeah.
We're enabling it.
Yeah.
It's an industry for it, clearly.
Man.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, it's so, they're just, supplying the demand. There's some thirsty niggas out here, bro.
It's bad.
They're just thirsty. They just all day long.
You know what's so funny about this is, I don't know if you remember this, but way back in the day, you and I made a video talking about how Ray Allen was getting catfished.
Oh yeah,
because he himself was trying to get with his IG model. It just so happened that particular IG model was a guy who was a catfisher. And this was back in 2017. Now, mind you, as an aside, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. I think it was in 2016 or 15. I went on my Instagram and I got rid of every Instagram model that I was following.
Yeah,
I got rid of it. I unfollowed all of them because I realized that I was contributing to the madness.
Yes, bro.
So I unfollowed and I've been all the better for it ever since.
Yes.
There's no intrinsic value that this is providing me. Exactly. What am I learning? What money am I making from doing this? Nothing. Right. All I'm doing is lusting over photos of a woman that I don't have access to. What does that do me as a man?
And honestly, a woman you don't even want access to.
You don't.
And that's the wild part. Yeah, you don't want her because you know what she is. So what are you looking at her for like this? And that's the what's the pathology right there.
Yeah.
We gotta stop this.
Yep.
And so people just go, oh yeah, all day long. It's like, no, man, you gotta get out of that space. Like, what are you thinking? So then, if you're just a product of your internet environment, right? All you're looking at is booty all day, because look, bro, there's dudes are enabling the fake booties.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Oh yeah.
We're enabling it. Mm-hmm. That's at a pandemic rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what are they gonna? They're just gonna go do it. They're just gonna go do it. Yeah, there's an element of one girl competing with the next, but competing for what? Instagram pictures that guys are liking, so you're doing it so you can get likes online. It's madness. And this woman here, we talked about Richardson being a product of the internet. You could say that she's a product of the same type of stuff. Honestly, even though she's a little bit older, she with this. You talk about like rappers. She's coming in like she's like a rapper. She came in. Oh yeah, what's up? Like she came in like a rapper. Hold on. I'm saying she came in like she got an album on the way. What are you talking about? What is it?
Stepdaddy season.
Yeah, listen to that.
It's officially stepdaddy season.
Like what? What is this? Stepdaddy season like it's an album on the way. What? This is internet stuff. He's a product of people that've been trained to do this. So yeah, she's out here. Hey, I got my people out here. They're following me, and there's a movement. I'm sure. She has her own hive. I'm sure. And they're like, nah, girl, go get it. But her people out here hurting people, man. That girl's hurt. I had seen some other video. I couldn't find it. I seen some other video of her just explaining why she be out here hurting people. Basically just to protect herself. You know what I'm saying?
It's just toxic behavior.
It's toxic behavior, bro. And and the thing is, when people are out here doing this with no accountability, because the only reason why we're saying this right now is educational purposes, and the reason why that people need to be held accountable for stuff.
Yes.
And she's avoiding accountability.
Well, she's not even avoiding it. She's just not being required to be accountable.
Yes.
She's not being required to be accountable. Like,
Exactly.
it doesn't matter what people, the negative comments on social media don't matter when at the end of the day, she is still going to be able to acquire what she's seeking.
Exactly.
And if she's seeking a man to be willing to apply for stepdaddy season and she receives that, then ultimate accountability is nowhere to be had.
Right.
Because she got what she asked for. Mm-hmm. It's just, this is a problem. And, honestly, not to get too deep, but this is a problem that I feel is specific within the Black community. Like, for whatever reason, but just in general, it's like we have this unholy fixation with these Instagram chicks. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it's dangerous is because the men at the top, men with the ultimate amount of money and resources, these entertainers, these athletes, and these entertainers and these athletes and stuff, mm-hmm. they seek to get with women like this.
Yeah.
And what I don't understand, and the reason why I brought the Ray Allen video up is because I made a point in that video where I said the reason why I might consider myself to be a thirsty guy is because I do not have the requisite tools to not have to be. Mm. And what I don't understand is when you are a man who's at the height of industry, you're the prize. You have money, you have resources, you have all of the requisite tools to not have to relegate yourself to seeking out women who come from this walk of life.
You're right.
Like, bro, I live in a small town, right? You know where I stay. Mm-hmm. If I go out on a Friday or Saturday night, I'm going to see at least 20, 30 women who look as good as her, at least physically.
Exactly.
They're not Instagram models. They're just regular chicks. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, if you have the requisite tools to not have to be extra and to not have to be willing to reward toxic bad behavior like this by seeking women who are not in this walk of life, why can't you do that?
Right.
But for whatever reason, there are so many guys who have all of these requisite qualities and tools who will still pine for women who come from this walk of life. And the reason why it's so damaging, in my opinion, is because this dynamic has a trickle-down effect throughout the rest of the community. It has a trickle-down effect throughout the rest of society. So now you might have everyday around the way girls who might live in your neighborhood or your apartment complex, who you might go to class with, if you're in college, who you might work with if you work a regular job somewhere. And these women are looking at this behavior and they're saying, shit, I look as good as her. If she can do it, so can I. Mm-hmm. I'll find some dude who's willing to accept and reward my bad behavior, my bad decision making. So mm-hmm. I'm gonna do the same thing that she's doing. And I'm gonna live my life and be ratchet and be an insta thought and do whatever I want. And no one's going to hold me accountable, because if I look good enough, the next weak simp who does not have preferences or standards and who is unwilling to hold me accountable will accept me because he wants to be with me because of how I look, so much so that he's willing to do whatever it takes, including take on my baggage, and by extension, therefore, become responsible for my baggage.
Right.
And this is what's going on out here. So like I make videos and I talk about people like Brittany Renner because it's not a spotlight isolated incident where these types of things are only playing themselves out with rich and famous people. No, this shit is going on everywhere because it has a trickle down effect and people are taking cues from these individuals. And they're saying, if all I got to do is make sure that I look good, but I can display all manner of toxic behavior and still get what I want at the end of the day, I have no incentive whatsoever to not be this way. Mm. And I bring the overall point back to the original notion of pointing to the progeniting behavior, because once again, if collectively as men we decide we are no longer going to reward the behavior, then the women will stop behaving that way. They'll learn and they'll stop. They'll adjust to the new environment and they'll stop doing dysfunctional stuff. Mm-hmm. But as long as we don't require them to do so, they'll continue.
Factual, bro. Factual, man.
So I just, you know what I'm saying? I sincerely hope that there are no takers for stepdaddy season for Brittany Renner. Please don't fill those applications out, man.
Too late, bro. It's some cat, bro. Look, bro, you gotta listen. You gotta see what world we live in, bro.
I know.
There's a cat. There's a cat right now plotting on this.
Yep.
Because guess what? He's gonna be famous now. Or if he's not already famous, you see what I'm saying? Or he's gonna be big time. He's gonna be tabloid.
It's just it hurts me because again, if you want to be with why does it have to be Brittany Renner? Like if you are a guy with money and resources and you live in a major city, you can go out to a bar or a club right now, and there will be so many women who look as good as her. So if it's about the looks and the body,
let me. Did you see the whole housewife thing?
Maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, you got to see this, bro. And when you see this, you'll get it, bro. Hell no, this girl here, wow, bro.
It's just so funny too to see her being this way, because there was a point in time in which she was like the ultimate ratchet. Oh my god, I can already tell it's buffoonery.
Let's see if we can catch this here. Oh, let's play that back. Hold on.
Oh, to a housewife. Good. Because I'm both. You don't have to choose. I thought you wanted me to be a little whore. No? Oh, that's no fun. I'm going to start calling people's opinions of.
Yeah, bro. Like that's it right there. Her saying that whole little spill of, I can be both. I can be a hoe and a housewife. She says. All right, educational purposes, guys. Educational purposes.
But again, she knows that she can be both because there's a man who is willing to accept both. Yeah. And so, my general thesis is this. Mm-hmm. Any guy out there, if you're a man with money and resources, if you're a working class guy, if you're a guy who's a time clock guy, no. If you perceive this to be a problem, then it is incumbent upon you to do your individual part to not reward the behavior. If enough men collectively decided we're not going to reward the behavior, then a lot of it is going to stop. That's the bottom line. So, the reason why she's so emboldened to do this is because she's going to have takers no matter what she does or says. Mm-hmm. And that's the crux of the issue. It really is. And for men who have money and resources, you guys are so fixated on these Instagram models, and you have all of the requisite tools to get women who look as good as her in your general city. You don't have to DM chicks. You don't have to fly chicks out. You don't have to do any of that. But it's so many of us who have no social skills, no confidence, and no self-esteem, and money and resources don't fix those inadequacies. So it's so many of us walking around who might have money and resources but don't have the basic fundamental skills needed to actually make women respect us. So we resort to women like this who have an ulterior motive. And it's sad. To me, it's sad. We don't have to go on any further.
No, and I just want to say one more thing. And because we can't ignore the fact that she scouted this person.
She's a shark.
Yeah, but this is a new age form of sharkery. Because they were, like I mentioned earlier about Jordan and the hotel. I mean, what do you think those girls at the hotel wanted?
Sure.
All right, but this is new aged. And like you said, they're so emboldened right now. But she's basically saying, yeah, like a rapper. This is rapper stuff. Oh, yeah, I did that. I finessed the plug. What of it? And then I'm here to flex on y'all. Yeah, that's what she's here doing. Yep. And she's flexing on these other women, right, that are out here like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? What's up? Yeah, I did that. I'll go do it again. Listen to her. And you're right. But this whole thing, it all ties in, bro. This whole culture of flexing like rappers. You know what I'm saying?
I will say this: the one difference between those women who were going to Michael Jordan's hotel room and women like her is back in those days, those women knew their role. They didn't think that they were entitled to be married to Michael Jordan. They knew that they were just there to get smashed by Michael Jordan.
Fair.
This chick believes that she is entitled to be the wife of a high-profile man with money and resources. Despite her behavior and her baggage, she nevertheless feels as though she deserves that. Back in the day, those women coming to those hotel rooms knew what they deserved, and they got it. And there were no ifs, ands, or buts or questions about it. But this new age thing, these IG chicks, they think that they deserve to be married. They think that they can slore their way through their physical primes and then still retain the right to deserve to be married to that same caliber of man. And it doesn't compute. It doesn't add up. But on the other hand, and I'll say it a million more times until it gets into people's heads, it adds up for them because they keep getting the shit that they want. So we just got to stop giving it to them.
Yeah. Hey, all facts, bro.
Yeah.
All facts, man.
Terrible, crazy stuff. But we'll move on now. This is the meme time of the stream. Get Brittany Renner out of here. Go away.
Oh yeah, get her down here.
So we got meme time now, man. And this is on a related. This is related to the topic that we just left, but it involves a different piece of content that we're going to expound upon. So if you want to go ahead and tee that up.
Yeah, let me go ahead and share that screen.
All right, I think I would add it. Hold up.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
No, that's your screen. So if you shared it, you would have to play it.
Right.
All
right, so here we go.
I can't hear it, bro. You hear me, Javis? Javis. Can't hear it. Javis. There you go.
He heard as fuck.
We'll wait for it to play back, though.
Little bit of money, but flex on bro. She gone, my boy. Focus on you.
We'll wait for it to run back.
Right.
But this here, this is a wild dynamic.
Look for City Girl Commissioner.
It's a wild dynamic.
What would y'all do in this situation?
Look, you really gonna ride a jet ski or another jet? What's the problem? There's a big ass problem. If I got a jet ski with a bitch, you be mad as fuck.
He made a point. He heard as fuck. Little bit of money, but flex on bro. She gone, my boy. Focus on you.
Yeah, so that's that there.
Look for City Girl Commissioner.
But yeah, you could take and so this to me is wild, and to me this is a reflection, kind of like with the whole another degree, another angle to the Brittany Renner situation.
Yeah,
where there is a situation where things are going on, where again no accountability, again emboldened personality sets. You dare check me about this? It's like if you have an old lady and y'all on this boat and y'all supposed to be having a good time together, why would you want to ride on the back of another person's jet ski? Like what's okay about that? And here's the logic. I'm just riding on a jet ski. What's the big deal? I'm not going home with him. I'm going home with you.
Yeah.
How disrespectful, right? That's honestly akin to a woman walking by, all right, who physically looks better or has something else going on, and then you're sitting there going gawking, and not just gawking, just going, oh yeah, oh like, where's the respect? You know? And these types of things, hey, nowadays we have the internet, these things can be captured. But one thing and by the way, the comments on this section was hilarious. Shout out to Lil Duval, by the way. Comment
Yeah.
section was hilarious.
Yeah.
People were saying, hey, bruh, she's for the sea. She's for the sea. She's for the ocean. She doesn't belong to you, man. And what young guys have to understand is, just like how we were saying before, having some standards, having some way about yourself where it's just like, hey, look, man, you know, no more. I'm no longer enabling wild behavior. And so that's why they was like, hey, let her go. You know, let her go. And focus on you. You can't be out here. And the reason why, people get caught in these situations is because they're not focused on themselves.
That's a fact.
Yeah, if they were more focused on themselves, that's a form of self-respect. And you won't tolerate certain shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? And so won't focus on yourself. And then on top of that, you talk about requisite resources, you can have the pick of the litter. And you wouldn't have to deal with a situation where a woman's going to jump off a boat and hop on another dude's jet ski. You know what I'm saying? And so even with him trying to check the situation, she checked him for checking her.
Yeah, I think she's probably the masculine person in that relationship.
Yeah. And it's a lot of that going on.
There is a lot of that, absolutely.
Brittany Renner's one of them.
She is very hyper masculine. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so to tie back in low key to the Renner situation, where like we was like, what's going on? She's a manipulator. She is a sociopath, allegedly. She's gonna find a way. Some dude is goofy enough, fair enough. She should have a reputation where a guy's going, not today, devil, not today. But somebody's gonna take that cheese anyway. Some guy's gonna take that, and she's gonna trap the guy. But how's she gonna do it? It's still cheese, it's still bait, but it's still tasteful. It's still tasty. So what kind of animal? You see what I'm saying? A rat dude. A dude that's not on his P's and Q's. You got to be out here on your P's and Q's, staying on your square. And by doing stuff like that, once you see these girls coming in trying to literally bait you, like, what's her personality really about? You really have to find out who this woman is. I mean, this one's putting it all online, but as soon as you meet her, she's going to flip the script. These people are magicians. All narcs are. And that woman is a hell of a narcissist right there. And so these type of situations play out in the streets too, is what I'm trying to get at. This situation went viral because people got cameras now. The same type of disrespectful behavior continues throughout the streets. This girl here, this girl Renner, the only thing she found out how to do is weasel her way to a class of people who, she just took her thoughterly to another level. That's all. And that's why you said, hey, this girl's at the gas station that you look better than her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to the gas. I ain't trying
at the very least. At the very least, they look as good as her. At the very least,
But she has one thing they don't have, and that's thought ambition. She has another thing that they don't have. She's out of her damn mind, allegedly. And so she's just going to do that type of stuff because she's the Joker. Some people just want to see the world burn.
Yeah.
That's your mentality. And so when you see these types of situations, and this dude on a boat lived out the same type of scenario, But in real life in the streets, yeah, you saw that coming. I don't know how many times before that event. That wasn't the first time you seen that character in there, bruh. This just got caught for the internet. So yeah, man, it's some wild stuff, man. I just wanted to show that because A, I thought the shit was absolutely hilarious. And B, it's just like, bro, let her go.
Yeah.
You know I'm saying? She for the ocean, bro.
Yep. Yeah. And, there are two things that immediately come to mind to me when I see something like this. The first thing is, there are far too many men who do not, and I don't know why. I don't know what the origin of this is. I don't know what the cause of this is. But for whatever reason, there are too many men who lack basic fundamental social skills when it comes to women. Like there is an absence of that foundation. I don't know whether it's because they grew up with no dad to teach them. I don't know why. I'm not going to speculate because, you got a lot of people nowadays who like to minimize the importance of fathers in the house. Like, they like to try and suggest that a child can be just as functional, has just as much chance to be as functional, whether you're in a single parent dysfunctional household or whether you're in a functional household with both parents. I don't know. I'm not a social scientist. So I don't know whether this is happening because these guys aren't growing up with dads to teach them how to navigate women. I don't know. So maybe they're having to learn this type of stuff on the fly. But the reason why these types of situations play out is because these guys do not have the ability. They don't have the fundamental skills to exhibit good judgment when it comes to choosing chicks. So you don't know how to tell the difference between a woman who's dysfunctional and a woman who's not. They have an inability to do so. And so they get into these, and so, towards the end of the video, he's holding all his money up. So what they do is they leverage their money to try and get in with these women. But these women can pick, like, as toxic and dysfunctional as a lot of modern women are, they are smart in that they can still pinpoint a guy. They can still pinpoint whether a guy has those foundational skills or not. And when they can detect that he doesn't, they seize upon that. They take advantage of it. So she probably got with this dude knowing that she can run roughshod over him emotionally and take advantage of his cash flow, and that he'll put up with it because what is he going to do? Go out and get another chick? Of course not. He doesn't have the skills to do that. So he's tethered to me. And since he's tethered to me, I control this relationship. I'm the boss. I'm the masculine one. I'm running the show. I'm going to hop on this guy's jet ski, but you're not going to hold me accountable for it. I'm not in fear of the consequences if I do this because you're not going to impose them. What's the worst you can do? Stop talking to me? Okay, fine. I'll go find another simp. Right. You're either going to stop talking to me, which is the least likely scenario, or you're going to stay with me and put up with it. So what incentive do I have to act right? I don't have any incentive to act right. So it just goes back to my overall point that these dudes got to do better. And I don't give guys a pass for being young. I don't give, you don't get no pass because you're setting the stage for this now. So I don't give a shit about you being 20, 21, 20. I don't care. You don't get no excuses from me for being young. Like, this is these trends are being established with these age groups, and it's once again it is trickling into it's happening everywhere in mass. It's a social pandemic, if you will, and it shows no signs of slowing down because men just seem to be ill-equipped with the ability to make the right choices. The other thing that I thought of when I watched this video is the fallacy of feminism. And maybe this might be a little deep, but modern feminism is a fallacy. It's not real. It doesn't exist. That's what I thought about when I watched this. Because even though Buddy's an idiot, one thing that he said is true. There's a double standard in play here. If he were to get on a chick's jet ski, that woman would probably go ape shit. Right? So the thing about it is, feminism historically has always been women can do what men can do. Well, no, let me take that back. The notion of feminism historically had always been sexual and gender equality amongst the sexes. So if this is perceived to be a certain type of way for men, then it should be perceived to be that exact same type of way for women. But what we're actually seeing is what feminism really means is we as women get to do, say, and act however we want without consequence. But some of the inequalities when it comes to men and women that we happen to benefit from, we still want to be able to retain those benefits. So for her, if it was truly about being equal, then she wouldn't get on. If she wouldn't feel so comfortable with getting on a jet ski because she would be concerned with the perception, or rather the consequences. Because if a guy does that, there would be consequences coming from her. But those consequences don't actually exist because she exists on a higher plane of social equity by the merit of her being a female. So she can get away with doing stuff like that and not have to suffer any consequences. Whereas if he were to do that, there would be consequences. And you can't even have chicks, you can't even text chicks without your girl getting suspicious and kind of out of pocket about it, let alone get on her jet ski,
right,
or get on her whatever. You let alone if she gave a dude a ride or anything like that, there would be there would be hell to pay. You'd have to answer for that as a man. You'd have to answer for that. Women have to answer for that less often because they aren't held to the same. They just aren't held to the same standard. There's an inherent inequity when it comes to things that men and women can get away with, when it comes to perceived disrespect on the part of your significant other. And we don't know the nature of their relationship. We don't know if they're girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever the case may be. But the point is, if he were to do something like that, those comments, like I can guarantee you, if this were flipped and he got on a chick's jet ski or whatever, the people in those comments would be killing him for disrespecting her.
Oh yeah.
But the comments for this, at the most, is just, bro, she for the streets, move on.
Yeah.
And so there's just a difference with that. But I believe it's all anarchy, it's chaos, it's insanity. And I just think that it is incumbent upon us as men to not be a willing participant in our own insanity by doing the same things and making the same decisions, but expecting different results. So stop getting with women like this. If you want to stop being the recipient of this kind of action and behavior, make different decisions. Otherwise, you're just willingly being insane.
That's factual, bro. And what was for the streets culture is real, bro. It's what's going on. It's a lot of that, though. And kind of like, I guess, how our women felt about where's a good population of men. Now it's like, hey, man, where's a good population of women, bro? And so it's, I hear
you.
And the thing is like the for the streetsness of what's going on right now, the rate of which people want to just live their lives.
It's Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out of control.
This is out of control. Everybody can't live their life, but this is just modern culture. Everybody's trying to do them. You can't do that. What kind of world is that? No accountability. Again, no commitment. You gotta be for the streets. Why? It's to the point where some of them can't even control it. That girl couldn't control herself.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, she can't control herself. You kidding me? A bike? I can do what I want. Hey, you can't do what you want. You're in a committed situation where my feelings matter. Yeah, right. Are you kidding me? I'm going to do what I want. You going to stop that? And she just gets on. And it's just a reflection again, bro. See it all the time. I see people, man, and people call it simping or whatever. Look, man, that's just what's going on out here. That's why I was always just saying, hey, happy wife, happy life. It gets to a point where some dudes are just going, hey, look, man, it is what it is. I just want to make her happy, man. Basically, she can do whatever she wants. And it has to be, then now, if we talk about accountability on the guy's side of the street, granted, that's fair. But it also has to be accountability on the women's side of the street.
It does.
And it does because, hey, man, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Respecting them gives them the leverage to disrespect us. So we are, to a extent, there's a lot of guys out here that respect them. Hey, I respect you so much, I'm not going to be out here absolutely womanizing them being crazy. Yeah, they do whatever they want. And so it's madness, man. It's not all women, all right? There is women out here that's for the streets. And we know who they are. They know who they are. But I'm just saying, it's an overwhelming majority of it, man. It's become the norm. People talking about new norms. You know what I'm saying? For the streets, culture is normal now.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, and so that's why situations like this is, bruh, take the L, bruh. Back in the day, this would have been egregious. Now it's commonplace.
Yeah. Yeah, I see videos like this every day.
It's commonplace.
Every single day. Every single day. And it's just, because of the advent of social media, for the streets culture, however you want to characterize it,
right?
No relationship is safe and nothing is sacred. Like, you just never know. We've used the word a couple minutes ago, masculine. Most women today really approach the notion of relationships from a masculine perspective.
Yeah.
From a masculine standpoint, from a masculine point of view. Masculine, not in the sense that they're being manly or a man, but masculine from the standpoint that they're going to continue to leave as many men in their wake as they can until they find exactly what it is, until they can trade up so much that they realize that they can't trade up anymore.
Yeah.
So she got on that guy's jet ski because there's a potential that she can trade up from this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe this guy on this jet ski has a little more than this guy right now. So I'm going to explore that option.
And you know what? And that's why he felt salty and had to show his money.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he already knew. But you can't hide what's in plain sight. And it's like that action, that behavior is rife with insecurity. If you know you got the bag, you don't need to do that. But you don't have the bag compared to this guy on this jet ski, and you're threatened by that because you're with a female whom you know very well will trade up. She's probably with you because she traded up to you from the last time.
Yeah.
So, it's I don't know where the rubber meets the road, but I'll continue to say, and the reason why I make that point is because I don't know whether we say, hey, man, y'all women need to do better, or whether we say, hey, y'all men need to do better. Like, I think it's so crazy and chaotic and archaic. I don't know where the rubber meets the road, but I'll continue to lean on my personal belief that when it comes to sexual dynamics, it is natural for men to set the tone. I believe that intrinsically. So as long as men are unwilling to maintain accountability, preferences, and standards, and have non-negotiables, this will continue to persist. So I think men collectively need to do a better job of maintaining accountability, standards, and preferences. If this guy maintains accountability, standards, and preferences, he won't find himself in this situation. Now, maybe you won't get with that female. Maybe it'll take you a little longer to get from one female to the next. Who knows? But that's what life is, bro. Put in the work. Stop trying to circumvent the system by throwing a bag at the situation and thinking that it's going to make everything better. It's not. And that's not reality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, and too many of us have that mentality. Too many of us say, why do I need to work on social skills? I don't need to know how to talk to women. I just need to get rich. Well, you can get rich and still get embarrassed and played.
Exactly.
And this is a clear sign of that.
Yeah.
Talk to all of these NBA players who keep getting exposed by these Insta thoughts and these Instagram models and all of these people. Like, for real. These guys have money and resources, and these women are still running roughshod all over them because they have no reason to respect them because we're not respecting ourselves enough. So,
factual, bro.
I don't know, man. Good luck, buddy. I don't know who your name. I don't know your name, where you at, but you're a meme now, man. You're a meme.
Yeah, bro.
You're a meme, bro. And it's just, I don't know, man. This type of stuff, you know, I try to remain optimistic, but you know, I know what I see, and what I see, it ain't pretty.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
You know. Well, that time flew by, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That time flew by.
Right.
It really did.
Yeah, dog.
That's crazy. But yeah, that is that's the first edition of the Conscious Approach live stream in the books, man. And we'll continue to you know, put out, we'll you know, crank out the content. We'll continue to do this. This is the first time, so of course we're going to continue to refine it, fine tune it, make it better, because you know, we have the commitment to do so, and we actually like doing stuff like this. So you know, this ain't the first. I mean, this might be the first, but it won't be the last. So, you know, we'll continue to keep it moving, man. But, you know, when it comes to those 4 topics, you know, if I'm going to say anything in closing, I think my main takeaways would be men need to do a better job of developing fundamental skills when it comes to women, maintain preferences and standards, and make better decisions. It'll course correct a lot of this stuff. And another takeaway is, as a culture, I think we need to do a better job of assessing the message without getting so emotional that we want to attack people and get them fired or strip them of their credibility and all sorts of other crazy stuff that we got going on.
Facts, bro. And I just want to close out and say, man, just vibe, everybody.
Yeah.
The stuff that we are covering today, man, people aren't just vibing, man. They got some other stuff going on where the vibe isn't the main objective. If vibing out and chilling was the main objective, we wouldn't have been seeing this stuff, these headlines, you know. So just keep it chill. For my guys out there, keep it player. You know what I'm saying? Just chill. Yeah. You know, for my ladies that are watching, hey, he will love you if you just chill out. If you're chill, and if you're already chill, keep it chill. That's why he loves you already. But just keep it chill, keep it player. Life goes well when you just sit back and every day's like a chill day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's going to be some responsibilities. Are you kidding me? That stuff's baked in. You know, you're going to stub your toe on the bed. You know, you're going to miss the lights to get to work. It happens every day. Some things are, you wake up every day the same thing, you know. And so you know you're going to wake up and get into some sharp. But if you keep it chill, you know, live a chill lifestyle, know that after every day is going to be chill. Mm-hmm. You won't be caught in these scenarios.
Yeah.
And so what we're just trying to just, you know, give our point of view on is, hey, man, how to live more chill. How to dissect social situations and not internalize them so much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So this is me, Dogon SS. You can subscribe to me at Instagrams, right? Dogon_SS, right? Then we got over there in YouTube land, you know what I'm saying? Or here in YouTube land. You know, you can go ahead and subscribe to me. All right. The name is just Dogon SS. You know, follow me for more vids. It's been great collabing with my dog Jay Wins, man.
Yeah, for sure. And y'all already know the deal, man. Full content library for the platform, consciousapproach.com. Follow Conscious Approach on the Instagram page at Conapproach, CONAPPROACH. You can also find me on the Twits, JV Wins. Conscious Approach is also on Facebook. It has its own page. The videos are on there as well. So definitely, man, if you happen to be checking out any part of this live stream as an individual video clip, please, if you like the commentary, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. I surely appreciate it. I always appreciate people supporting logical content. We'll keep cranking it out, refine the process. But I'd say this is the first time I've ever gone live. Well, I hit live once, on Facebook doing a video the old-fashioned way. But this is the first time that I've ever streamed live like YouTube style. So I say for the first time, it wasn't bad. Hey man, everybody out there, man, like my dog said, vibe. Just vibe, man.
Just vibe out, man.
Yeah, like we're all smart people, and whether something is truly enough to get you riled up, all up in arms, acting out of pocket. And if it doesn't reach to that level, just vibe out, man. Vibe out.
Exactly.
We can rise above that.
Exactly.
But we're gonna go ahead and end the stream now. Until next time, this is the Constant Approach live streams. JB Wins, Dogon SS. We'll see you on the flip side, and we out of there. Peace.
All right. Peace.